What's Rafe, man? What's the word? Just woke up, just a little blunt. So today we're gonna talk about. Today we're gonna speak about having love, having a big heart, and being a creative. Like how those two things like combine together, and how you can move around if you have a big heart without getting hurt or overextending yourself. Because when you have a big heart, especially in this industry, and you add value to wherever you go, the love come with it, and people will start to love you because of that. But the other side of it is, once you guys are building a relationship, creatively or business wise, whatever, they just it begins to be a thing where people just start to love you for what you can do for them, and you guys have to notice that, because as soon as you say no, or as soon as you change your mind about something, that love can leave immediately, and that's when you really find out if it's real love or not, by how people considerate you. You know what I'm saying? Are they considerate? Do they considerate you? Like, that's a big question, you know what I'm saying, in this shit, you know what I'm saying? And it's like sometimes when you go through a lot of betrayal, like I have and shit like that, sometimes you feel cold and you feel like the love is gonna run out, and you feel like you gotta be cold and you gotta be slimy like them and shit like that. But it's like, if you really are who you are and you got a big heart, it's like that shit drains you for real, and it's not even like amusing, you know what I'm saying? Like, this shit drains you, you know what I'm saying, emotionally, physically, mentally, and it's something that you guys gotta watch out for, so you guys have to set boundaries. You guys have to set boundaries. You gotta have to set boundaries in within how much you do, what you provide, what you add value to. Be vocal about everything, be vocal about everything. I feel like one thing I noticed is that especially when you're in situations when you're doing work for somebody else or stuff like that, or they doing work for you, vice versa, and let's just say they mess up, or they do a bad job, or they just like flop a situation, you have to kind of like have a real serious talk about that, no matter how small or big it is, you know what I'm saying? Because in the end of the day, you have to understand that whatever you're working on, if somebody messes up, that is a reflection of you, regardless if they're putting it out or you're putting it out. So with that being said, is like, you have to understand that within that, you are adding a lot of time into whatever you're doing. So you have to understand that you have to set boundaries within that, because people will take advantage easily, you know what I'm saying? Especially if they like what you do, or they just don't feel like doing it themselves. And you guys have to just watch out for that type of stuff, because that is something that can go over your head, you know what I'm saying? You could be doing stuff for the love, and then all of a sudden, it's not love no more, you know what I'm saying? Or it changes. Or do you feel like, yo, I want to get paid, or da-da-da-da, And it's like, you guys have to know how to go about that shit. And it's usually just a regular genuine conversation between the two. But oftentimes in this era of shit, it's just like everybody has an ego. Everybody feels like they're the one. Everybody feels like, they're God, in this, essentially, because they feel like if it ain't their way, it's no way. You know what I'm saying? And those type of people are the ones that you don't want to be around when it comes to being creative, because it's like, when it comes to being creative, there's 100 ways to do things. You know what I'm saying? As long as you got a good heart, and you have good intentions, then you should be good, because the real flex is keeping a good heart. When life keeps giving you reasons not to, you gotta keep a good heart, because you've been lied to, you probably been used, people probably done switched up on you, you've been counted out, but you still show love while those people hate on you, you know what I'm saying? And you still show loyalty, you still show up for people, even when people do these fucked up things to you, even when nobody showed up for you. That's a rare, you know what I'm saying? That's just essentially somebody that shows that their love is real, you know what I'm saying? Because that shit is powerful. Everybody in this this industry and in the world will test you, and it will drain you, and it'll turn you cold. You feel me? And if you're moving with good intentions, after everything you've been through, it starts to fuck your mental up, because it's like you moving with good intentions. Why are people meeting me with bad intentions? You know what I'm saying? And you start to see that people are starting to be more like, just more what's the word, selfish and shit like that. And it's like, you could be selfish in a good way and you can be selfish in a bad way. You know what I'm saying? And often people don't know how to be selfish, essentially, and they start burning bridges and stuff like that. So it's like, I'll tell you guys, like, if you're a good person, that's something that nobody can ever find twice. I promise you, anybody that fucked you over, even if they notice it now or they notice it later down the line, they're gonna understand, like, damn, there wasn't nobody else around that was like that person. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you was a good person, especially if you had a good heart and you was moving with intention, you know what I'm saying, with good intention, and bringing value where you were at, and you were what you were doing. So with that being said, it's like, you guys have to understand that having a good heart in this shit and getting betrayed, it don't mean turn cold, it don't mean do this and that and be slimy. It just means create boundaries. Just create boundaries. And if people don't respect them, they just don't respect you, and that's just the reality of it, you know. So I hope that can help you guys that do have a good heart and are creatives, and just keep creating, you know. Don't let nobody stop you, don't let nobody discourage you, because a lot of the time it be the people around you, the people that's close to you, the people that love you, that are doing these things, the people that can touch you, you know what I'm saying? So keep your eyes peeled, keep creating, and stay dangerous.